Hello everybody, Tim time here, just Tim. Every time I turn this on, something gotta start making noise. And Chris said, everything makes so much noise down there. He was watching the video. So just so you know, that's a dehumidifier that makes noise. And then I also have a water pump that I'm sure it'll kick on soon because it's gonna make noise. And then we're sitting right beside the furnace, so it's gonna make noise. So maybe I'll go turn that off in a second, as soon as I get back up. But change of plans for what I want to do with this, what is it, the Model 4, yeah, well that'll be a Model 054. So now it's the Model 450, I believe that's what it is. Yep, Model 450. I did find, I actually have some documentation on this, not a schematic or anything, just an instruction booklet. And what this was is, it's basically it's a ohm meter, amp meter, voltmeter, AC volts, and a tube tester. And it also will put out something. I don't know what, let's see, output. I'll have to look that up. I forget already. But this has, remember I saw these leads here, 1000, 1500 volts. This is kind of like how the Simpson meter has the different, basically, probes. So that it's just not one switch. You actually have to throw it in probes if you're going to do 3000 volts or 1500 volts. That's what that was all about. But if you look at it, this is really kind of tough to get inside here. And well, I want to just see if it's even going to fire up. Maybe the transformer's fried or whatever. This is that probably the grid or whatever that wire that was sticking at the front right here, and that was really a bear to get to. And even these capacitors are pretty tough. So what I'm going to do is we'll fire it up without changing the capacitors or anything. We'll fire it up on the variac and see if it's even going to fire up. And then if it does, then I'll go and I'll replace this. This was a little bit of a bear to get it out. There's two screws here, but even with the screws out, this wiring is so rigid. You see there's no screws, but this thing's not moving. And it's really quite compacted inside there. You can see it. I don't want to move things around too much because obviously it's pretty darn old. So what we'll do is I'll repair that one wire here that I showed you was kind of coming out. And there's a wire down here that also I found is coming out. And we'll see if it even plays. So we'll give that a shot, and I'll be right back when I get things set up, and I'll be ready to give it a shot. Alright, so as you've seen many times before, here's that. Here's my current limiting power station, and then I can turn up the voltage with the variac. This is switched to the on position. I have some light on here. I don't know if I don't think there's a bulb in here. It's going to illuminate. So I'm not sure what we look at. Let's turn it on and just see what happens. Remember, if these bulbs get bright, then that means there's a heavy load on it. I have it switched into the limit position, so power that on, and we'll start to run this up. We're about at 50 on here. So I guess that's kind of percent. So 50% of 117, 120, I don't know. Not seeing anything there. Meter here, candle life, it's showing me about 6 watts. Let's see. It's 108 volts and 8/100ths of an amp. So they're not very either. They're not illuminated. Let's just see. Bring the voltage up to 115, 118 here. That's perfect. I don't really see any load through those. Touch the machine to make sure I'm not dying here. All right, let's see. Where's the line voltage? Line test. I don't see anything happening so far. I'll turn this off to see if it has a rectifier. I don't know if it's getting warm or not. That's the on off. Hey, the meter's actually doing something now. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Here's the line adjust. So I don't know if you can see that. I see the rectifier's glowing now. So I'd imagine in certain positions, like especially the volts, it doesn't, the power supply doesn't need to kick on. However, in the ohms, it probably would. So let's see, turn that back off. I noticed that the line's way off zero as far as zeroing the meter goes. Alright, and it's not coming up to zero. Line adjustment does work. That's actually doing something. So let's see if I switch this over to ohms. So we'll definitely have to find out why I can't adjust that to its zero, but at least we know things are working now. Just looking for the ohms. Let me see. I'm going to turn this back off while I do this, because I don't want to knock it down and let things spark or stick my hand somewhere. I'll try that. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the line adjust is also the zero adjust for the ohm meter portion. You can see that. Alright, so I know it works, so now I can continue on with replacing those capacitors and fixing that wire that comes out through here. And I even have another little grommet I can stick in there. Hopefully I got a box of grommets, hopefully I have that size. So, alright, well that was a success. So now let's press on with it. Just want to make sure that the transformer wasn't burned up or something. Transformer, I didn't say that correctly. Alright, a little bit of a recap since the battery went in. I don't know where, probably somewhere around the time the stink bug was running down my leg. Okay, this has been completely replaced and grommets in. I had to take the gauge apart, or the meter apart, but I did find out what was wrong with it. Well, when you sit it down, it goes. This was actually out of the tracking. So when I was adjusting it, nothing was happening. So you can see now it's sitting on a 0. Well, when I put it in, it was sitting on a 0. You can see that or not. Anyhow, it was a bear getting this in and out because just not a lot of room, and the wires are so brittle in here. Put this back on. 2 screws hold it. There's little standoffs attached to the power transformer. It does still look a bit crooked, but that's the way they had it. So I'm going to put the ring back in this tube here. I pull that tube socket out to get down in there. Capacitors all changed. Here's 1 cap, 2 cap, and 3 caps. So the only thing left to do is replace the wire on here, but I do want to double check to make sure which side is the fuse and which side is the switch, and I may change that around to put the fuse and the switch on the same side. But I'll try and look at the schematic for the other ones that are supposed to be similar to this, and that should give me an idea. So that's it for now, and we can, when I put the cord on, we can fire it back up and maybe try and test the tube or something. And I'll clean some more of the switches. I clean stuff up a little bit, but not too much. So, alright, we'll be back. Alright, so now I'm going to replace the cord. That's the last part of this jigger here. There's a paper towel of sorts. Soldered on here. I don't know why they had that on there. There's that. This one may be a little trickier to get at. It's way in there. Not that much trickier. Perfect. So this is a little solder sucker. Nice, it's portable and quick and easy to use. These up a little bit. I don't think they have to be quite that long. So on this, I'm going with a non-polarized plug. Why, you ask? Because after a lot of consideration and thinking about it, I realized that's the only cord I have. So if I really find that there's a deficit and I need to replace it, I will do so at a later date. Now I'm just kind of looking at getting it connected together, and looking at it, I see that it's got a transformer, and oddly enough, the way it's wired, one of the wires from the line coming in goes to a fuse, and the other side goes to the on-off switch. I usually like to make one side completely common and put the fuse and on-off switch together. Right now, I want to run this guy all the way down here away from that tube. Crap. Come on there, come on up. Alright, here it comes. You know what? I want to put it on this side of this wire. I'm probably going to tie it to that wire. Try not to use that Pittsburgh accent too much. Wire. And come on, you can do it. All right. So, hopefully that'll work. Just stick that through like so. Alright. Put the doohickey back in here. On through. There we go. Forward in place like so. We have a plug here. So we'll try plugging it in again to the infamous tester thingy here, doohickey, the limited current supply here with the variac. I'll turn that way back down again. Turn that onto the on position. Turn off the soldering stuff. I'll get some more outlets put in here. I'm kind of at the mercy of one back there and a giant extension cord, a thick extension cord running all over the place that I tap into. There goes that. This is in the on position. Kind of leave the light off. Put a screw into it. Well, I'll leave it laying flat on the ground here. I think that's where it's supposed to be anyhow. And I'll move you so you can see it better. Okay. I'll be looking straight down at it. Not straight down, but you know what I mean. Can get out of our way. Let's see. Turn it on to limit. Turn that on. Got a light. I'm going to start to turn this up. You can't see it because I have you pointed at this mainly. Let me find a piece of wire here. We'll put it back in here. And here. Probably see the ohm meter starting to go up. Alright, probably at about, oh, we're only 30%. Alright. Looks like we're starting to draw a little bit of current now. We're at 104 volts. $115. That's probably good there. Alright, there's line test. As you can see, it's not working well. So let's put it to ohms. Let's try, oh, what do I have here? 50 ohm, 1 watts. This will be, we'll go R times, R times 10, so it should show me 5. That'll be way down here, so we don't want that. R low, R high. Well, if that's correct. R low doesn't work. So R low, that's R high. Let's try this. That's R times 10. I know that. I think that's working because there's R times 1,000. So these are what 3.3 megs. So they should be showing 3,000. would be 30,000, 300,000. Yeah, so that's pretty close because that's showing about 30 some. It was anyhow until I put my hands on it. It's showing about 35. That's 3,500 times 1,000. Let's see. Yeah, so that'd be about 3,500,000, and these are 3.3 meg, so that scale works. Our low works. Oh, I see. That'll deflect, full deflection, and then when you touch it together, it does just the opposite. Okay, this one here works normal. You can touch them together. We've confirmed that they work somewhat pretty good. So R times 10. We were doing these 50 ohms, so it'd be 5, so it'd be barely just moving off the 0. Come on. And that's it. But if you did, let's see, R high probably gives you a true reading, and it'll probably go right about to the 50, I'll bet. Yep, pretty good. So for an old meter that's not calibrated, that works pretty good. So now let's check and see if the DC works. DC volts. I had to move that for a minute here. Probably turn this on to what, 30 volts, so I'm putting about 20 into it. So let's see. Being as I had my colors backwards here, I had to do that. So it would be the DC volts here, 20 volts. I don't know if you can see the scale here. Let me see if I can pull this back without pulling the wires out. So I'm on the 20 volt scale. I'm putting about right around 20 on the analog meter there, and this is right at the, that'd be the 200, but it's gonna take the decimal point, make it the 30. It'd be the 30 volt scale. So 20 volts, that's pretty darn good there. On the 75 volt scale, it's showing about 20 volts there, just a little bit below 25 and above 15. So I don't think we'll see much on the 150 volt scale. That's it there. So there's 25 there, so it's a little bit below 25. That's good. 300 volt scale, again going to 300. There's 10. That'd be 50, 40, 30, so 20, saying around 25, but all right, so that scale works. 750 volt. It's moving. I'm not even going to try and calculate that. Okay, so that works. Let's try the AC voltage. Wonder where we can get that from. Let's unplug this. And let's turn this to AC volts for the 150. Let's see if I'm gonna stick it on with this. Actually, I don't even need that. I shouldn't need that at all for doing this. So let me turn the line off. And what do I need to do here? What do I need? Now let's see what happens. There it is. Hopefully you can see that through my arm. That's just zapping into the side of the 110 volts or 115 volts, and it's on the 150 volt scale for AC. So it's shown about 120. Alright, I'm satisfied with that. So the next thing we need to do is test a tube. SK. Here it is, 6SK7. 6SK7. So filament setting goes to 9. Filament setting on 9. Fill return is 2. Is 2. Tube select is 42. $42. Circuit heater, circuit select is H. Toggle up 7. I think all the rest of these I'm going to leave right in the middle because it doesn't say anything goes down. Circuit select is S. Tube select. Tube test, I would imagine. I don't know if it matters. Tube select, selector, filament, return. Anybody know what circuit select is? Oh, wait, let's just say circuit selector. So where was it telling me? No, this is for the cathode heater. That this is for a short test. So if we want to do a quality test, tube quality test. Circuit select goes to 1. Alright. Then toggle up. 3, 4, 6, and 8. 3, 4, 6, and 8. All right. I'll make sure I got that correct. This is for a quality test. I think it's toggled on. We got all these tube selectors correct. 42, 2, and 9. So we got 42, 9, and 2. All right. See the tube shoot out of there like a rocket. Now let's see, line test. Let's set that to where it should be. Give the tube a minute or two. Here it's coming up. All right, it's telling me it's good. And it is a good tube, I know it is. Well, I shouldn't say I know it is, but I did buy it recently. And guy bought it off of, guaranteed it to be good. All right. All right, so it's up and running. To decide what I want to do with it, that's another story. I'll put screws back in it and decide if I want to replace those with the banana jacks. Couldn't remember what I was going to replace them with, and I'll look through it again for from other solder joints. But as you can see, they're really hard to find those. They're all put together and they're in there. And it's not really to disturb it. I think that they really show their colors, but I mean, it definitely works. It's interesting. Definitely serve a purpose to try testing some tubes in there. I want to maybe try the 80s from that, not the 8, whatever that was, the 17, whatever. The amplifier tubes from the Philco. Just curious to try it in here and see if it shows the same thing I saw in the other tube tester. But that's it. It's a wrap, and hope you had fun watching me get this thing running again. It was kind of interesting to do. So now at least I can have some direction and move on to something else. I think we got to pull. I'm thinking that the Heath kit's going to be the next thing to come down here, that amplifier, and see what that needs. I'm not saying we're going to get everything for it, but see what it needs. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and take care. Oh, by the way, I think the winter storm watch already for November up here. This is weird. But that's it. Take care.